Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show today. My name is Spencer Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We have a great show for you. Let's go through it. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're off to a great start today. We appreciate you sticking by with us so much. And we got a lot of stuff to get to. On the show today, House Judiciary Committee ratcheting up the investigations into Donald Trump. Democrats ready to throw Ilhan Omar under the bus again. And we take a look at the conservative movement through the lens of Fox News and QAnon today. That's what's coming up. All right, so, yeah, we start, obviously, with the House of Representatives, where there is a pretty serious investigation that's just happening right now at the moment. On Monday, House Judiciary Chair Jerry Nadler of New York announced a wide-ranging investigation into essentially all things Trump, complete with letters sent to over 80 high-profile people and organizations seeking information and documents. While Republicans separately investigated possible collusion between the campaign and the Russian government in 2017-2018 when they controlled the House, the Nadler... they didn't really do it well, but the Nadler-led judiciary probe stretches into every stage of Trump's political career, as well as the Trump Organization, Trump Foundation, his supposed charity, in quotes. In a statement, Nadler said the letters were the first step to begin building a public record on some of Trump's supposed misdeeds. And I think that's very interesting because we have rarely ever seen, obviously, and there never really has been, a conclusive no-holds-barred look at Trump and what he's done with his what he's been able to do with his businesses. And it's really quite interesting here to see the statement. Over the last several years, President Trump has evaded accountability for his near daily attacks on our basic legal, ethic, and constitutional rules and norms. Investigating these threats to the rule of law is an obligation of the Congress and a core function of the House Judiciary Committee. We've seen the damage done to our democratic institutions in the 2 years Congress refused to conduct responsible oversight. Those receiving letters include Trump's sons, Don Jr. and Eric, as well as son-in-law and White House senior advisor Jared Kushner. Also appearing on the list are White House chief strategist Steve Bannon, Trump 2020 campaign manager Brad Parscale, Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg, the National Enquirer owning American Media Inc., former White House counsel Don McGahn, former Attorney General Jeff Sessions, former White House aide, WikiLeaks and WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, WikiLeaks itself, the Trump Organization, the Trump Foundation, the White House itself, Trump Inaugural Committee, former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, former Trump attorney Michael Cohen, and it's a big list of people. It just shows you how far really he's going. Jerry Nadler is into really kind of every stage of Trump's political career. He's not going like he is going to delve a little bit in the Trump Organization and the Trump Foundation, but there will be no holds barred here, I think, for sure, and it's a good thing. To see. Among the questions that the Sprong probe could take on are accusations that Trump's campaign colluded with Russia, Trump's organization's sketchy business dealings, and allegations of obstruction of justice, hush money payments to women whom Trump allegedly had affairs with, including porn star Stormy Daniels and model Karen McDougal. During last week's House hearing, Cohen alleged that Trump had directed him to pay those hush money payments, and also alleged that Trump had falsely inflated his assets to an insurance company. So yeah, there are a lot of places to go. When they actually narrow down on something specific or the latest activities, just generally with the House Judiciary Committee, is they can pursue this absolutely massive investigation. But until then, that's just some of what they'll be focusing on. All right. We now move on to other activities here on the Hill. If you didn't think the smear campaign against Ilhan Omar for anti-Semitism could get worse, think again. Politico reported on Monday the House Democrats will now put a resolution on the floor Wednesday in response to Omar's remarks. The Washington Post wrote that top Democrats are debating whether the resolution will specifically condemn Omar's remarks or condemn anti-Semitism generally. So yeah, this is, again, great use of everyone's time. Shows really that you super care about getting things done when you're in the majority. And that's what you want to do. Your first priority is to condemn one of your own people for saying something pretty much objectively true again about anti-Semitism. Every time this poor woman opens her mouth, it's to talk about Israel and to criticize Israel. It's an anti-Semitic thing. Like you could say things like, I mean, she needs probably. I mean, you could say, oh, she should stop talking about saying things people would think are anti-Semitic. But then the problem with that was she would not have been able to talk about Israel or the Palestinian conflict at all, because there would be nothing to say. Like, there would be nothing for her to say without being accused of anti-Semitism. But, like, because that just seems to be she just had to keep her mouth shut about it. And I know that she would not have been comfortable to do that, because that's just not who she is. And she has principles. Like, unlike most people in the House, Democratic or Republican. Omar has been under sustained attacks for saying recently that it is worth talking about, in her words, the political influence in this country that says it's okay to push. The political influence in this country that says it is okay for people to push for allegiance to a foreign country. I want to ask, why is it okay for me to talk about the influence of the National Rifle Association or fossil fuel industries or Big Pharma and not talk about a powerful lobbying group that's influencing policy? She continued to clear reference to AIPAC, which is the powerful lobby group that influences policy on Israel all the time, as we know. It's just the way life works, the way lobbying works in this country, very unfortunately. And like that's what she was talking about the last time she got this anti-Semitic brouhaha. It says, again, very obvious the truth of the mainstream political establishment in the United States demand support and loyalty with regard to Israel. It's unacceptable, in fact, as we'll find out from a certain representative, to question our support to Israel. Do we all forget that just a few weeks ago in the Senate, a 77-23 vote, a bill passed, including a highly constitutionally dubious provision allowing local governments to punish companies to back a boycott of Israel, or the states that are indeed demanding that people literally pledge not to boycott Israel if they want contracts. I mean, there is a concerted, like the one thing you cannot do in this country, and like people's rights have been violated for it multiple times, is to criticize Israel in any way, shape, or form. Just ask Mark Lamont Hill. He was fired from CNN for saying, calling for a free Palestine. I think for like the river to the sea or something. And he was fired for that. So when they kept on people like Jeffrey Lord for an exorbitant amount of time, people who are, Trump supporters of the worst shade and variety. You criticize Israel, you are gone faster than you can say commercial break. So it's that simple. Literally today, though, this is the evidence I was talking about before. A tweet from Representative Juan Vargas. So he says, it's disturbing that Rep. Omar continues to perpetuate hurtful anti-Semitic stereotypes that misrepresent our Jewish community. He says, additionally, questioning support for the U.S.-Israel relationship is unacceptable. Yeah. Questioning support for the U.S.-Israel relationship is unacceptable. It's there in black and white, pointing out that this is the prevailing view in Washington. Is not anti-Semitic, speaking, though, kind of with pretty good knowledge like Jews. I know like a lot of Jewish people. I can only say that assuming that all Jews feel that way about Israel is definitely anti-Semitic. And Israel is not, again, representative of all Jews. There's tons of Jews out there who condemn a lot of stuff that Israel's done, who are much more to the left wing. And I said this last time this whole thing came up, but it's very interesting that like a lot of people assume, and the Democrats literally take the position of the Israel far right. Like, it's just that simple. You got like organizations like J Street, a lot of other good left-wing organizations associated with Israel and the Jewish faith and the Jewish and the Israeli kind of like ethnicity, I guess you could call it. But it is the very interesting like misconception, I think, that everyone thinks the way our government thinks on Israel, and they really don't. There's a whole other Israel left wing that's just been out of power for a really long time, and that may change soon. So that's going to be very interesting if Netanyahu does indeed get indicted. So Omar has been the target of an unending campaign of hatred and intimidation because of her outspokenness and her status as one of the first Muslim women in Congress. She's also been the target of blatantly racist and Islamophobic threats. Yet her, if you remember the poster over the weekend in West Virginia, I think it was. Instead of having her back, though, Democrats are throwing her under the bus at the time when she needs them most, proving that really they're no better than the attackers. Like, the Democrats right now, in my mind, are not much better, if not worse, or somewhat worse, than the people who are attacking her, because this woman is under so much heat from both sides, from the Republicans more than anybody else in Congress, and for the and from the Democrats, she is literally getting kicked under the bus, thrown under the bus, literally a resolution condemning her. So, yeah, if you are so inclined, please do donate to Ilhan Omar, because she needs your support, because they're going to come and try and wipe her off the face of the earth. No joke. All right. There we go. All right, now we turn to another quick, little, slightly disturbing story. So Fox News' 24-hour Donald Trump tongue bath is not a new phenomenon, as I'm sure we know, but the details of how sweeping Roger Ailes and Rupert Murdoch's propaganda empire how effective it's been, it still has the capacity to shock. Jane Mayer, New Yorker writer, dug up these details in a pretty landmark piece, writing that this fall, a FoxNews.com reporter had just had a story that put the network's journalistic integrity to the test. Diana Falzone, who covered the entertainment industry, had obtained proof that Trump had engaged in a sexual relationship in 2006 with pornographic film actress calling herself Stormy Daniels. Falzone had worked on the story since March, and by October she confirmed it with Daniels through her manager at the time, Gina Rodriguez, and Daniels' former husband, Mike Moss, who described multiple calls from Trump. Falzone had also amassed emails between Daniels' attorney and Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, detailing a proposed cash settlement accompanied by a non-disclosure agreement. Falzone had even seen the contract. But Falzone's story didn't run. It kept being passed off from one editor to the next, after getting one non-committal answer from another, after another from her editors. Falzone LS heard from LaCourte, who was the head of Fox News. Falzone told colleagues that LaCourte had said to her, quote, "Good reporting, kiddo, but Rupert wants Donald Trump to win, so just let it go." LaCourte, kiddo, oh, that's awful. LaCourte denies telling Falzone this, but Falzone's colleagues confirms having had her account at that time. So yeah, in January 2017, Fox demoted Falzone without explanation. That May, she sued the network. Her attorney, Nancy Erica Smith, declined to comment, but acknowledged the settlement has been reached, which includes an NDA that bars Falzone from talking about her work from Fox. So yeah, that's... now we know that Fox News actively kills stories. Who knows what else they've killed to help Trump. All right, that is, again, from Jane Mayer's New Yorker story. Ugh, disturbing. All right, now to the more crazy side of the right-wing movement, as if Fox News wasn't crazy enough. We now turn to QAnon, a book promoting the crazy QAnon theory, which is that everyone right now, every major figure, pretty much, and this is no joke. It may shock you this morning to figure this kind of stuff out, but it literally means that there has been, like, all the people who pretty much conservatives hate, like whether it be Barack Obama or like Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton, they've all been accused of pedophilia. They're locked up, and they have ankle monitors on them, and they literally are just hanging on for dear life. They literally, they've all been accused by Donald Trump, and they are pretty much just hanging on for dear life. That's pretty much what the QAnon theory says, what the QAnon theory means, at least in that is. So yeah, here's a better explanation of it. So this is from Splinter.com here. The theory was born of cryptic posts by someone calling themselves Q from the internet cesspit. The claims that prominent liberals and Democrats, including Hillary Clinton, are part of a wide-reaching ring of satanic child molesters and murderers. According to the theory, Trump is secretly fighting this cabal through Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Mueller supposedly indicting the conspirators in secret trials and releasing them with ankle bracelets. Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. it's pretty much that simple. Probably the weird